think it was like Rohan or someone asked like, "Where's that from?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, you thought you had that?
I was like, I've got that. I was like, Uncle Classic is Uncle Classic's down with the kids. I got this. So I started telling him, I was like, oh, bro, it's what the hell? It's actually from like the NBA because like Tyrese Halliburton kept dropping all these game winners, and then everyone's like, what the hell? Blah blah blah. And then someone's like, I think it was you. You're like, no, it's from Severance.
No, it was Rohan.
I was Rohan.
Rohan watches TikTok.
Oh yeah. Then he's like,
he's actually in with
He's actually
yeah. He actually let me something on TikTok, and I'm like, I can't watch it on the app. Anyway, but then I swear I was wrong, and I was going home, I was telling the story to Ricky, and I was like, and there's this thing, what the hell? She's like, oh, from Severance, right?
Actually.
I'm like, oh man, but
and you were like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? But I feel like out of that we got some good like fab applicable memes, right? Like, you're drafting Gravey on the wheel. You're like, what the shelly?
Reversing Aurora, you take one.
What the hell? Yeah, like I'm finally stabilizing against Verdant. It's like, all right, got down one card in hand, one card Arsenal. Like, GG, what could go wrong? Pitch, what the felly?
What the felly? Oh my god.
So, like, no Uyong today?
HR had to talk with us.
I feel was it something we said last time?
Getting sat down, it was best decided that Uyong just doesn't show up this time. I think it's safest.
Yeah, he
thing to
just
do.
preserving. He's maybe an actor in other facets of life, but maybe he couldn't handle sharing a stage with us. Well, you weren't here to protect him, Karol. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
His father figure.
Yeah.
I leave for 1 week. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
What the hell?
Papa Karol's not in the house,
Yeah.
But you guys know, like when you were here last time, and it was just me, you, and Uyong.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you weren't here, right? Yeah, you weren't. But anyway, but we actually got a ringing endorsement from the head of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after the pod dropped, I watched it because I always go back and watch it.
I did watch it. It was actually amazing. I was like, wow, I leave for a week and it's the best podcast.
It's so much better. But like, I went back and watched it as I do, and I'm like laughing at all my jokes and stuff. I'm like,
Classic.
But yeah, I was like, this is pretty great. But then I came in, I'm just like looking at the view count, it's ticking up, and I'm like, we did pretty well. And I saw Matt, and I'm like, hey Matt, I feel it did pretty well. And he said, and I quote, people seem to enjoy that like ridiculous nonsense you guys did. So we're so back. We're so
word
back.
for word.
Yeah.
Literally what he said.
Something along the lines of that. Like people seem to enjoy that nonsense that went on. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yep.
Some valuable input.
Yeah, Brian, if you're watching, might be permanently off the.
Yeah, Brian comes back and Matt stops and was like, "Sorry, Brian, not this time. We got the dream team already."
Not this time, not ever.
Yeah, there's a new sheriff in town.
It's Mr. Glass.
Fun classic.
Such day, but anyway, I guess like
Nationals happened.
Nationals, like I feel it's been one of the like wildest national seasons in a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I love the statistics on this. The 17 different heroes taking the trophy. Every single class. Like me and Kieran actually, should I say Kieran and I were looking through the lists, and I was like, surely a KO won. Like making sure that every single class has won one of the nationals. And we're going down the list. I'm like, no KO. And then a Soul Avaya took it out to...
Yeah, because initially you were saying, right, you're like, every class won, it's set Brute. We're like, oh no, like poor old Brute. And then a single hero came there, came down, won it on Avaya. What a legend.
Yeah.
But you're right, like 17 out of, 45, 47-ish Nats, 17 different heroes won. Every single class won a nationals. I feel over the course of the weeks, it also like charted up and down a bit, like what was winning each week. And like I was meant to look up the stats, so instead I'm just going to make a bold claim. But I'm pretty sure like well over 50% of the top 8s were like 6 different heroes. Like
yeah,
5 to
I feel
6.
like you just kind of like watch through all these kind of streams going on for the big nationals, the small nationals, and every top 8 is just super varied in terms of representation. And I feel like there was this natural kind of kind of rotation because new left, it created a little bit of. We had the U.S. Nationals where Verdens came out on top, and it showcased the power of Gravey. I feel like it was the kind of first tournament where Gravey kind of put his name on the map.
Yeah, yep. Well, he really charted a course.
I really love the national season because it really gives all the hometown heroes a chance to shine, and like all the one tricks that don't normally get to like travel to big events and stuff, they turn up, and that's why there's such a diverse meta. It's just like all of the people who are just known for their decks in their hometown, being able to actually show off, like the Levia win, the Dorinthia win, Bolton.
I think it was Casai definitely won
Casai.
Australia, but I think Dory might have taken it out somewhere.
Just like all these random heroes that like you really wouldn't put in the top heroes as contenders to win. They're really taking out these nationals, which is really surprising, right? Because they have to battle it out at least 6 CC rounds plus top 8.
Yeah.
And then like some nationals like Japan is just all CC. Which is
was
crazy
it?
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But you're right, you look across like the different metas in different parts of the world, and it can be like completely different from place to place. And so many different
I think it's like that's the shift from when we had Enigma, Aurora, even Viscerai back in the day when there was a clear divide in the power level. And now it's kind of evened out to the point that a lot of these specialists come out of the woodworks and do really well.
Yeah, and I think we sort of saw a shift from week 1 to like week 1, well, when it was just US Nats, I think Gravey put on like such a good show across the Swiss and top 8. People were like, okay, this is now kind of the deck to beat. And then in week 2, it won like 3 pretty big nationals. Won like France, New Zealand.
And Gravey kind of did set the kind of like pace for the national season in a way. I felt like you could tell that the Earth decks, the Florian and the Verdens was doing really well. Like it was such a strong deck into everything, but it kind of did struggle into Gravey. And when Earth fell off, a lot of these aggro decks started to coming back into the metagame.
Yeah, because I was almost a little surprised at US Nats that there was like as much Florian and Verdens as there was, like, particularly Florian, because Florian, it felt like a bit of a hostile meta for him. And then
I think it had to be people just had the deck. It was the comfort pick. It was super good into majority of decks at the time, and
but then definitely saw like Florian start to drop off significantly over the like subsequent weeks. And I feel one of like the biggest winners out of the big meta shakeup and how well Gravey was doing, it's got to be my girl Syndra. Made sure I wore the right shirt for it.
Rocky start in US Nationals, and then once the Gravies picked up, Syndra came in as the kind of counter, but also just decent like matchup spread all around.
If you need the deck to just default to, you just pick the easiest aggro deck to play, which is Syndra, and it just so happens that she's quite good into Gravey, which is the top pick coming out of the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. And I feel like there was just in terms of content creation, the top players were talking about how good Gravey was and how much potential the deck had to just kind of steamroll like all kinds of matchups. And like so many people were even saying like, you know what, I can beat Syndra. I can build the deck to beat it.
Yeah, and I feel like some of the top players still probably stand by that, but like when you look at the data, the raw hard data, I think across Nat season, like the win rate into Syndra was, it was something like 30-ish%, or thereabouts. And that stayed like relatively constant across the course of the weeks.
Yeah.
And like sure, at individual nationals it chopped and changed a little bit. And like I say, imagine players will go back and like study that matchup and adjust and tech for it if need be. But just when you look at it, you kind of think like, surely it's got to be kind of good for Syndra, right?
Favored,
Yeah.
Because I think you can spike on Gravey. Like, you can do these crazy turns, particularly like those really heavy, like tempo-based go-again-based ones where they're running like the 9 tipples, the Conquerors, the Swift Water Sloops, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can just do these absolutely nuts turns. But I think Syndra just puts you on like a very short clock to do so. Like, you stumble once or twice and like she just really capitalized on that.
So the onus is fully on the Gravey player to play completely perfectly to navigate that matchup, right? Because Syndra just kind of has to do like sweeping duty, clear all the allies. But the Gravey truly has to play like out of their minds.
Like
to
squeeze every point of
exactly,
damage.
Exactly. Can't misplay at any point. Otherwise, they just lose.
Yep. So anyway, like speaking of some of the aggro decks doing well, I think the other deck that's just been kind of crushing it this season, one of your faves, Slippy.
Yeah, Slippy's been doing good, and I feel like it's gone under the radar. You know, it's kind of did slip through the cracks. Yeah, it's kind of like it. Nobody was talking that much about it. I mean, people were focusing very much on the Gravey Syndra dynamic, but Slippy came in and just kind of acted as the aggro deck that can deal with Gravey, but at the same time prey on some of the other aggro decks. So, yeah, not surprising Slippy picked up so many wins.
Kind of interesting, like, a lot of the decks that came out of the woodwork to beat Gravey, like Dash.io and Acilio, they get smashed by Slippy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Slippies were hoping for. It's just like all these people playing these rogue aggro decks that are very fragile to disruption. And then Slippy gets to hit those and also the top decks in the meta, which is...
Yeah, and then News left, right?
yeah.
So that's a bit matchup gone. Like, a lot of these Earth heroes started to get pushed back, so...
For sure, because Slippy's hero ability, it's like pretty one-sided these days. Like, I mean, you look and so Slippy's not great into the heroes like Marionette, which can actually use that, but there's not much Azuri around. Like, News obviously gone. But you're exactly right. When you look through some of the data as well, there's very few heroes that are actually good into both Gravey and Syndra, decks that are showing up in large numbers. And some of the ones you mentioned, decks like Dash.io, decks like Acilio, a few of these other ones, like Dorinthia even, was turning up as a counter pick, which I love to see.
Yeah.
A lot of these have like very difficult matchups into Slippy. Like Slippy just like loves playing these matchups. And even some of the Earth heroes, Slippy like roughly 50-50 into Verdance, maybe like slightly unfavored.
It's pretty good.
Quite bad into Florian, but with the big meta shakeup, Florian's definitely dropped off quite a bit. So Slippy definitely showing up as one of the decks to beat. And that really speaks to why it was one of the best performing decks in national season. If you look through some of the numbers, what won the most nationals? You know, Syndra's at 8, Slippy's at 8. Then you have decks like Gravey Bones picking up 4 wins, Prism picking up 4 wins, which is really cool. Prism, again, one of those decks that's able to compete a little bit with some of these aggressive decks like Gravey. And then you sort of go down the list and you see some like Dash.io sprinkled in there with 3 wins.
Dash.io really started to pick up pace, I think, by the tail end. Kind of Ian Zhang winning the Dutch
Nationals on Dash.io?
Yeah, really kind of mastering the deck. And by the way, shout out to anyone who wants to get into Fab. Dash.io is a great way to get into the game. Super accessible from the Armory deck.
It's pretty sweet Armory deck.
Meta pick right now.
Yeah, so and obviously heroes like Verdance as well did quite well, and Acilio picking up a couple of wins. So really cool, because I feel Gravey's one of those heroes where if it's kind of one of the best decks in the format, which I feel the player base has spoken, very clearly seems to be heading that direction. It's quite cool because it's a deck that is a little bit more targetable than perhaps some of our previous best decks that we've seen in the format. Like, you can actually pick up some of these heroes and say, I'm going to go in, and if I play against 3 Gravies, I'm going to have a pretty good day. And even stuff like Casai, I'm pretty stoked to see.
Casai is interesting because she can do well into Syndra. Obviously, she can kind of do okay into Gravey, but I think she's got a great game into Slippy and a lot of the assassins. You got the Dynamo, you got a decent damage output, you got decent defenses.
You got good D reacts, you can like play good yellow defense reacts like that, or you got if you really want to tech into them as well, which helps just like fuel your hero ability and everything. But yeah, really cool. I like, what was it, sorry?
Better allies.
Oh yeah, right? Like, you make a bunch of those cell swords.
Yeah, it's always like great to watch the Gravey player with all their allies, and then Casai raises an army, clears them all, starts going face.
Yeah, like shout out to Justin Lim taking down Australian Nationals on Casai.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Who also, by the way, beat 2 Verdances back to back.
Yeah,
from 70s.
no AB,
Rocking
right?
AV0. Like, I'm shooting into one of those. Yeah, I tuned to one of those games and I'm like, wait, excuse me? There's one game, I think he played against Sam Sutherland, a like fantastic player out of Australia. Like, really played that insane Dash.io deck as well at Worlds, I think, that time. But I saw him, and what happened is Justin just pitched riches early, got 1 gold, made 1 gold of hero ability, and then at one point made 2 allies and just like rode them to victory.
It's not that easy for Verdance to clear those, right? Like,
It's
you're gonna like chuck a whole fruits of the forest at it. Like it's not easy.
Facing down 2 allies, it's like, what the Sally?
Oh man, Jason's so back.
There he is.
Carry on, boys.
Jason, he was actually away earlier this week when we considered filming, and I came straight to Alex and I just said, look, there's absolutely no way I would film this without him. I mean, and if you ask Alex might say, Kieran came up and said, oh, yo, we'll just do the session blood, me and Karol, all good. But he was in your corner. But yeah, I mean, just double checking the list. I feel like I didn't forget anything. I did pretty well. But yeah, we have the Azalea, of course, as well. 999 LL points. That's quite a funny one. And I feel that's sticking around. A little bit of a nerf to like maybe Syndra, because that's one of Syndra's more difficult matchups. And instead of like seeing Azalea sail off into the sunset, ascending to LL, you sort of compete with those like Red and Ledger dominate for 14.
Red and the Ledger, Codex, Red and the Ledger.
Yep. And just a few other heroes doing well here and there. Like you have your Kanos picking up a couple wins. My boy Victor Goldmane picking up a win. Yeah. Maybe it's like a sort of to try counteract some of these more aggressive decks out there. Sure. But I think the general vibe from Nationals is just like, what a wild meta. Just everything's on the table. I feel in terms of if we're just categorizing very roughly what I would maybe think has emerged as some of the better decks. To me, like the ones based on the data that seem to be well up there are like Gravey, Syndra, and Slippy, just based on their number of wins and how their matchup spread looks at the moment. But like not far below that, and I'm sure there's a lot of players arguing like maybe right up there with them. You have your decks like your Prisms, your Verdances, your Azaleas, your Dash IOs, and then a bunch of these other like maybe somewhat rogue picks like your Cilios, your Casais.
Yeah.
Pablo playing Casai over in Spain. I think he went like undefeated in Swiss or something as well.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And they got taken down by Cilio.
Yeah. I think here's a wild prediction. I think Slippy will be most repped over the other two. Most represented.
At the Pro Tour? Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a little bit.
But yeah, let's just have a look at the leaderboard for player
of the year. Yeah, because obviously the Nats matter a lot for the player of the year race.
I think it's like it's an interesting time because it's still, we have a whole Pro Tour to go. We have Worlds. There's so many events to go.
Callings, Battle Hardeneds.
Yeah. So Brody is at number 1 place with 93 points, well ahead of the pack. I think he's really secured his lead there. But when you look down, Michael Hamilton's second at 64 points.
Okay.
Third, Jacob Clements at 63. So the gap, and then Pablo's at 56, Alec Chitu at 55. So it's really close for the second and third. So I think we might see a lot of kind of shifts after this Pro Tour.
It's good if a lot of UK and American players up there.
Yeah.
I will just say, like, I do find it quite funny. There's definitely a bit of a, shall we say, friendly rivalry between the US and like some of the European players.
Yeah, but also I
love it. Yeah,
Sean Dhaliwal on 55 as well from Canada. I feel like, and putting Tam up to 50. So yeah, the gap is so narrow between these players, and quite a lot of from different areas as well. And I feel like these rivalries are forming. It's going to be interesting.
And the thing is, I guess that is of course the overall leaderboard as well, but there's like awesome prizes up for grabs just within your region. So I think obviously Nationals was a big part of this to get your points within your region as well. But going to the Pro Tour, things starting to heat up quite a bit, like a big finish there. And even if perhaps you're lagging slightly behind on the overall leaderboard, being able to jump up into the top 3 within your region is like awesome as well.
Yeah. So. And it's Pro Tour Singapore. I feel like a lot of like Asian and Pacific players from these regions will be able to show up and represent, because it's not easy. Like
defend home turf.
Here in New Zealand and Australia, it's hard to get to a lot of these events. So it's a great way for players on this side of the world to pick up some points.
Yeah, like you turn up and you're all jet lagged and stuff. Come play me in my town. But the player of the year stuff definitely starting to heat up as well.
So do you guys have any favorites, like in terms of players to take out the Pro Tour?
I reckon Pudding's looking good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Putting Tam on a bit of a heater.
Got a girlfriend, probably pretty motivated to win.
Yeah.
Got that girlfriend buff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I want Nick Butcher to do well.
Yeah, I was kind of going to say as well.
You know, he came second in nationals. There were a few events that he was right on the cusp. Even when we were in the calling Christchurch, he was undefeated day one, 7-0, and then just missed out on top.
Had a bit of a rough day too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it's his time.
He's got a special deck brewed up for Pro Tour, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wasn't playing it for nationals.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that's the thing, like, you know, we were a few psyops going on, like, oh, I'm playing this at nationals, like, that's what I'll be playing at the Pro Tour, but they're actually hiding the tech.
Like really talking down some decks. Like, don't play Casai, guys. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think, who do I want to do? I feel Dylan Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
For Islander, back-to-back national champion. I'm actually wearing my Book of Cal socks today in honor of you.
Alex, can we get a zoom in on the...
You know, some are calling Dylan the Brian Baru of Irish Fab.
The
first, you know, as we all know, the first High King of Islands.
Yes.
Mythical,
Yes,
I
we all
think.
know that. Yep.
I hope that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. You know, but you know, shout out to my heritage. But you know, I feel there's a big swath of like emerging talent out there that people. I feel that thing about Fab just keeps getting better and better as well. So we have all these established players. Like I feel you can just kind of put your money on some of these players like Michael Hamilton, Pablo Pintor, Euclid Bender, like the Blue Pitch as a team. Like
Xavier McLean, he's been doing really well.
Yep.
Back-to-back winning Japanese nationals.
Team Poland, of course, as well.
Yeah, Team Poland, keeping, you know, still world champions.
Yep. And I feel one cool thing to see is I feel like there's some really good attendance at some of the South American nationals this year as well.
True.
I absolutely loved the photo from the Mexico nationals of you know, the winner just there showing the raw emotion on the face.
Yeah.
I think James retweeted it as well. I'm just like, you know, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Playing in the flesh and blood. So
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that, like calling Brazil as well when the Brazilian player won and everyone's
so
just
sick,
crowded
yeah.
around.
Yep. So I'd love to see like you know, a winner come out of South America too.
Yeah,
But yeah, but in terms of metagame, you were thinking Slippy most repped?
I feel like Slippy kind of positioned themselves as like the pick for the like really good players, in my opinion. I feel like it's that,
Are
and
you saying that if you're not playing Slippy, you're a scrub?
yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything, but
No, but I feel like Syndra is a tricky pick because yes, you can have a decent matchup spread, and the Syndra, you can kind of outplay your opponents, but you have those kind of high rolling mirrors. You verse another Syndra, and it's hard to gain an edge, I reckon, in the top level play. And also getting a good game into Gravey might not be enough this time.
yeah,
And I feel like what Slippy does is lets you have quite an even matchup spread and really kind of use your skill and skill gap other players.
that's the thing about Slippy, right? Like we're having a look at some of the data before. Like Slippy, in terms of like bad matchups, like sub 50%, significantly bad.
Florian, nobody's going to play that.
Hey, the king of good times. I was gonna say, you never know.
No. I'm actually.
But you're
I
right.
reckon because Florian could secretly be.
So it's
pretty
like
good.
it's like Florian, Marionette, Fang. You know, Fang, which you famously said had a good matchup into Aurora back in the day. This guy. But it's like those three, and then it's like Choppy into Vernon. It's like 50-50-ish. And then you look across the rest of the board, and it's like 65%,
Yeah.
60%. You're right, and that's the thing in a metagame where that can be the risk for. I'm going to target Gravey. Like my deck's really good into Gravey. With the metagame so diverse right now, I wouldn't be like super surprised if the most played deck was like 15-20% of the meta.
Yeah, probably not
And
too much, right?
between your limited route, like your Swiss, you play a bunch of limited, of course, as well. Like you could have this great anti-Gravey deck, and you play one Gravey throughout the whole tournament, and you've got to be able to combat a lot of the decks other people are going to bring. The ones like the Dash IOs we mentioned, your Auxilios, your Prisms, and I feel Slippy is just one of those decks, like you mentioned, that has a good game into it. But
Also, although Dash.io, I think, also has that ability to really leverage your skill. I feel like when you really know how to play that deck, you can maximize the full 60 or 60 whatever plus cards that you have to win some matchups that, you know,
You have no business winning.
You have no business winning, exactly.
Jason, I'm sick of the Slippy propaganda. What do you got?
I reckon whenever the storyline ends up in this sort of position where it's kind of like an aggro meta, like if we're referring to Slippy as an aggro deck, and aggro decks aren't really performing all that well because of Slippy as well, I reckon it's time for like a Guardian or like a Florian.
Guardian, okay, let's go.
Because like this always happens, right? Like when it comes to the Pro Tour, when it comes to a World, it's like there's like Big Briar, there's Oldham with no Winter's Whale. It's like usually one of those decks that just like
a rogue deck that
rogue Guardian blocky deck that just like rises up.
Even it wasn't a rogue deck, but like CYB Enigma and the like Aurora Flickerwisp meta as well.
It's just a consistent, slow blocking deck that will just block out the Slippies, and I don't know what deck it will be.
Do you feel like the Gravies are starting to kind of rely less on the allies in order to fight the aggressive decks? Which
Could be.
If as a Florian, let's say you're maining Florian, and you but give yourself a shot to like 50-50 into Gravey.
Completely solve it.
Yeah. You absolutely solve it. Best deck in the format.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Like, what about something like Jarl?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jarl.
I
really put words in his mouth.
I feel he's a bit of a, like, I feel Jason.
Get a load of this guy.
I feel Jason's, I couldn't believe, like, you were like talking this through. I'm like, what's he gonna say? When you said Guardian, I was like, what the hell? Like, this guy, like,
my favorite Guardian deck, Florian.
Or maybe Victor.
Oh, okay, yeah, like Victor. I was just like trying to keep up with some of the standings when I was watching some of the Nats over the national season. I forget where it was, but there was one Nats where I was like checking the winning ends, and there was a Victor, and I'm like, all right, what's he going to be paired up to? And there was like the winning end paired into Gravey. I'm like, okay, GG, he's out. And then I checked the top 8. I'm like, wait, he beat the Gravey. That's awesome. But I've seen some of them running tech like performance bonus and stuff like that. Play that from Arsenal, kill an ally, draw, like
make a goal, draw a card, do everything.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's why I think something like Jarl, which at least has some game into Gravey, because you can blow up their compass, which is pretty cool. Like frozen to death, batter to a pulp, like mangle if you get it off at the right time. Like you do have ways to just spike this Gravey matchup, particularly if like the builds are still quite greedy and playing a lot of 2 blocks, sort of no blocks, very few defense reactions apart from blood in the water. If you play Jarl and you're able to like tech a little bit into your Syndra matchups where they can chip you a lot, but if you start, they're very red heavy, so just disrupt them with a little bit of frostbites, get some blizzards in there. Stalagmite, blizzard, you know. Jarl.
End your turn. Yeah. Do some Jarl things. I might throw. Yeah, go on.
But the other ones, Florian, I don't know. It just seems a little tricky for Florian because both Syndra and Gravey, and if people are still playing Verdants, like Florian is just horrendous into Verdants. If you think Verdants is really going to drop off, and if you're like an absolute hero and you manage to both solve your Gravey and Syndra matchups and Verdants, which are completely different, but I wouldn't be surprised but I'm like the biggest Florian fan out there, so I reckon it can be done. It can be done, like Mount Heroics and stuff. Like.
I do have a bit of a wild card that you might enjoy, Jason.
Oh no.
Ira.
Oh, okay.
So Armory deck is dropping.
We're so bad.
Getting all these tools. I mean, the new mask, right? You get to search for your spec, get to clear all the allies.
Yeah, just play Master Momentum, it's the same thing.
Yeah. True. But speaking of the decks that I mean, very small sample sizes, of course, with Ira, there wasn't that much Ira seen play. But one of the few decks that actually had it, again, the positive win rate into both Syndra and Gravey. And, like, it seemed to not
Slippy?
have it.
I think it was good into Slippy.
It seemed to be negative into Slippy, but I feel that's quite a flexible deck that if you're saying, I can feel like I'm good enough into Gravey anyway, so let's just jam in a few more like Flick Flack, Sink Belows, or like some of the anti-Slippy tech.
Alright, so Ira is horrendous into Verdants and quite bad into Slippy.
Yeah, but
so if you solve that matchup, right?
Solve those 2 matchups.
You're pretty much great across the board.
Yeah, they call me the professor. You know, I solve anything, the mathematician. But the thing is, I think some players just might take a calculated gamble and just be like, Verdance doesn't exist.
Yeah,
like,
as you said, that Earth Brian stuff, there were a lot of decks that did this calculated gamble.
Yeah, I think like with the Armory deck, you can definitely play a very block heavy Ira deck and just block out and
Edge of Autumn.
Yeah, because I feel you can still clear pretty well no matter how you build the deck. So if you build it a little more defensive, maybe you still have decent game to Syndra and Gravey, and then like Slippy's just all good. And but I think this is meta where you just have to you're probably just not going to solve everything.
Right.
Like you have to accept at least one bad matchup.
Yeah.
And like you could just say, well, based on some of the data, maybe Verdance isn't going to be as played as it was in national season. Maybe some of these players who are playing it might swap into something else. And that's where Florian just sweeps on.
I do have to say, like, kind of be joking about like solving all these matchups, but I feel like all it takes is finding a good build, something like Casai, and for example, you have like 1 or 2 really good matchups, and then you kind of upgrade that one matchup just a little bit, just to kind of cover your bases. Cover your blind spot a little bit, and it could be good enough.
I feel there's going to be like a lot of testing, a lot of like you'll have the core of your build, and then it's just based on like you or your team's prediction of like what do you expect to see the most of the Pro Tour, what am I going to take towards. Like Kasai is definitely like Kasai and Acilio are 2 of my like real dark horses for this. I actually really like Kasai. Like Kasai is such a cool hero, and I think it is one of those decks that can be positioned in a way where like there'll be a Kasai who says, look, I'm going to give up this matchup or whatever, but I'm actually going to build in a way that I can beat these 3. And if you just manage to dodge a couple of your bad matchups along the way, and we've seen it happen on a lot of events before, like it can happen. Just like you even the best players have to get a little bit lucky to win a Pro Tour.
For sure, yeah.
So just make the call and hello.
And then, hey, you could be going to the Pro Tour after party with a trophy. But if you guys are going to the Pro Tour, you have to check out the after party. Yeah. It's like the greatest, kind of our first way to properly do an after party at a major event, right, Alex? Like, to
proper beach party, Ola Beach Club.
Party. Yeah,
it's gonna be hype.
Yeah, because Alex is going to be there.
Ripping the team.
Yeah.
But like I think like James, Brian, a lot of the LSS crowd, all the players, the community.
Yeah. Sure.
Like it sounds pretty sweet. It goes from like what 8 till 2 o'clock. Pretty sure there's still some tickets left, Alex.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's still tickets. There's some special things that might be happening, at that party. So.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's worth going, man. It's
I feel like that's when you get all the proper goss. Just hit up Brian or Alex, get them to.
Yeah.
The Sundays are always wild because everyone's like done after the Pro Tour, and so
it's like the big
release, and everyone just it's a good time.
Yeah.
That's cool. If like the trophy, you could like drink out of the trophy or something.
The Proto Trophy is a like.
Oh wait. We have to cut that because
that's actually gonna be there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
This is why we don't do these things live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Brian couldn't be here today, but he did say if you've got any like complaints, suggestions, anything, hit him up at the beach party. He loves it. He'll be there the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it also comes with a bit of merch, right? You get a treasure pack, beach towel, lots of cool stuff there. But like, if you prefer, instead of hanging out with, like James and Brian, whatever, if you want to hang out with us.
With the real crew.
With like the real cool kids, the devs. Where the party at? But for real though, World Tour Auckland, the Welcome to Wraith, first ed on day 2, a double calling weekend. Get your tickets, get down there. We're going to be in the booth.
Last chance to get your hand on the alpha packs.
Yeah, because day 2 alpha packs, that's it, right? That's done for the next 4 or 5 years. It's all going in the vault, all announced. But I'm just, like I said last time, pretty stoked for in Auckland, double calling weekend.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us, we'll sign autographs, take selfies and stuff.
You can ask Kieran all your annoying questions.
Man, I feel at these events, like, I end up being the one, like, I'm walking around and, people, like, don't really recognize me, but I try to start the conversation, like, oh, are you playing? And I'm like, oh, actually, I can't actually play. I'm a dev. They're like, oh cool. And, so like, if you want a photo or anything.
Already with the pen out, ready to sign.
I'm sure if you want me to sign something, I could, find a pen.
Yeah. But the good thing is like, you have the limited alpha packs, but you also have your classic constructed calling as well.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the kind of cool, unique things about this event is that it's kind of like pick and choose. Also, on the next day, you have Arcane Rising sealed.
Yeah, Arcane Rising's a Battle Hardeneds as well.
Format?
Yeah. Sealed into draft for that. So you have like Welcome to Wraith. If you make day 2, you're drafting first Sid. Yeah, you've got the classic constructed calling as well, which would be quite cool how to see the meta like shakes up a little bit after, based on the Pro Tour in Singapore, how people adjust
And
to
Guardian
that.
Mastery Pack is going to be legal. It's going to completely shift the metagame.
Okay.
I actually
Maybe my
forgot that.
Guardian prediction.
That's pretty sick. Okay.
Oh, Victor. Oh.
But also, like, the Ira Armory deck would have been out for a little while as well. So
Yeah.
we'll get to see, like, how Ira does. And, like, again, the New Zealand, Australia, APAC meta in general can be a little different from the rest of the world. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm pretty hyped. Make sure you get your tickets. Come hang out with us.
Yeah. And if you miss Brian at the beach party, you can catch him at Full Tour Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
Ask him the same question again.
Hang with your guy, Mr. Classic. It's going to be a great time. But and I guess, speaking of meta shakeups, though, because, we're going to have the Ira Armory deck, the Guardian Mastery Pack, and all that. But what about a whole new set, Super Slam? But I feel, Karol, you wanted to kick things off because there's been a bit of a controversy regarding nicknames, some of the heroes.
Yeah. So Ryung's not here clearly, but he really wanted to talk about, it's another adult KO, the
KO underhanded cheat.
Yeah, underhanded cheat, and our KO has become a bit of a getting momentum online.
A bit of momentum.
Yeah, from the player base, and I'm just saying no to that.
Yeah.
It's Cheeto all the way.
Karol wants to shut that down.
Yeah, we need to shut that down. And I don't know if we can do like a poll, leave comments or whatever, which one you think is best, but it's not RKO. That doesn't even make any sense.
Skeptic Karol's the streamer. Hey, Chad, what
It's
do you think
an
about Cheeto? His name?
It's an underhanded cheat, Cheeto, KO.
Yeah, it's got Cheeto in the name Cheeto. Like, I personally quite don't like the name Cheeto. I get it, like the wrestling fans out there, RKO, but it's a whole nother syllable.
Yeah.
Like
And
RKO.
what's the R for?
I think it's like a wrestling move finisher. RKO.
Yeah, I get the reference to the. But I mean, like,
I feel like you don't. I get it, but what's it mean?
No, but in the context of this KO,
Yeah, actually, good point.
I guess it's like reviled KO. I guess that makes sense.
Oh, wait, yeah, it is. Wait, that's right. We didn't really read the reasoning, did we?
No.
What are you, Jason? Cheeto?
Yeah.
Cheeto, okay.
Yeah, Cheeto. I think I saw Philip from February say this first. So.
Oh
shout out
yeah.
to him.
Oh yeah. It's already.
Cheeto, yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Philip.
Yeah, I personally like Cheeto as well. But Super Slam, sorry.
Yeah, I
mean,
do want to
topic.
say a little. It's Leviah did win one of the nationals, and
Yep.
Brute has not been performing amazingly well, but
Hasn't really been set in the pace,
honestly, with Super Slam, one of my kind of little things I remember walking up to Rohan with when we were testing the set, and I was just like, Rohan's our senior developer. I pulled him aside, and I was like, Rohan, are you sure we can make Brute this strong? These guys are kind of crazy. So I think all the Brute fans, I feel like you're gonna love it. Like,
Yeah,
Fans.
yeah, that's Mr. Classic's domain.
what, the Guardians?
Yeah, what do you think about the Guardian
We'll get to
cards?
Guardians in a second, but I just want to agree with you, man. There's some serious sauce, and there for the Brutes. Like,
Yeah.
there's some real cool stuff. Like, and I feel across an array of different Brutes, but we'll leave it at that. We're not giving away spoilers just yet.
Yeah.
But like, I feel that they just look quite cool. Like Cheeto, I mean, well, KO underhanded cheat. And Tough Nut, what a legend.
Yeah, putting rock on
Tough
that.
Nut, Tough Nut.
Yeah. One of the greatest things about doing Super Slam limited testing was, we were the crowd.
We were the crowd,
We'd gather around, like there's a game that goes a bit longer than the others. We all gather around and
Yeah, Tough Nut just needs to like hit those resources for lethal and just like But yeah, the Guardians, I feel just again, I suppose we can't really talk too much about it because it hasn't been that much.
But do you feel as a Guardian player, do you feel the
I feel there's some cool stuff there, man.
Yeah.
Like, but
I feel like there's like completely new kind of direction
Well,
for the class.
like, and I'm well known as like a gold main stan. So getting Lyeth in their first 5-int hero, with a unique downside.
Yeah, it's been interesting because, let's be honest, like Guardian's not my go-to class, but Lyeth, I feel like opens up the class completely. I feel like I've never had that much fun playing a Guardian ever.
Yeah, and I feel like potentially a number of different ways that you can build that deck. A lot of very cool directions to go in. And of course, like Pleiades as well, like the superstar.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, yeah, it's hard to really get into it because there's a lot more, spoiler seasons are going to be coming out. It's like there's a lot of cards to be revealed coming up. So people have just been given like a little taste.
Yeah, and if you're not into Brood or Guardians, the expansion slots.
Oh, man.
It's like what, like almost 3 times as many expansion slots as in High Seas? I feel like each class is going to get...
Let's not give away too much. Just give them...
Yeah, because Karol, you're notable for us having to like bleep you out.
All right. Okay. All right.
And my favorite card.
It is, I believe it's 31 expansion slots.
I think
which is like
there's a lot of expansion
way
slot
more
cards.
than ever
And
before.
like, man, there are some like bangers in the expansion slot for sure.
Yeah.
Won't go any further, I'm not Karol, but
Leave a bit of suspense.
That's true.
so yeah, like obviously we don't want to talk too much about like exactly what these heroes do or how they play outside of what's been revealed so far. But I think, like you say, they definitely bring a bit of a different element to how these classes have played previously, and there's some really cool builds. It's like I'm really excited for some of the cards that are going to be revealed, like the way these heroes operate.
Yeah.
It might be in for a little bit of a surprise.
Wait, favorite hero?
In the set. Oh man, like I do love my Guardians, but like tough nut. Tough nut.
Jason, favorite hero for you?
Tough bro.
Yeah.
And we already know your favorite hero.
Yeah, it's Cheeto, not RKO, Cheeto.
Yeah, Carol's a bit of an ace player on Cheeto. He played it quite a bit during internal dev and everything, and he definitely, I feel like, made the hero sing.
Yeah, and me and Karol have some heated discussions about whether to do,
A certain thing or not.
a certain play, which we will reveal later.
We'll come back to later on.
That's the nice thing about Tough Nut is just like, just have the hero. Like, a lot of players out there looking towards Rock as a weapon. Marvel Rock stonks lying up. But it's so nice sometimes. You're like, they're doing all the complicated stuff, and sometimes, like, depending on how you're playing, you're like, yep, sweet block. Anyway, attack for 7. No, but definitely the Guardians as well. Like, Tough Nut, I think he's just a bit of a fan favorite. By fans, I mean like us. But the Guardians, like, really, really cool how they play. And one of those ones where, like, I can't wait to see how some of the best players approach them.
And I think for Guardians, we got to keep the suspense for what they do.
Yeah,
really
keep that
get
for
up to.
keep that for another day.
Yeah.
Next episode.
So I guess, I mean, Alex, you're meant to keep us in line when Brian's not here to stop us rambling.
No, I think that's everything. I think we'll just look forward to the Pro Tour and see what comes out of it. It's been cool. It's been cool seeing all these rising stars in the game. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who takes down this tournament.
I'm really excited for this one in particular. I don't know why. I feel like so much has been shaken up recently.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is
yeah.
actually a really good one to watch.
Because it's I feel like some metas are just better than other metas, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we can give ourselves a pat on the back, creating the...
Yeah, those living legends were totally
that's like putting the medal on ourselves,
17 different heroes, every class winning, like, just great development all around.
Man, who did that? Was it the players? No, it was us. Thank you, me. But I feel like, some metas are just like a little bit more fun, a little bit more diverse than other ones. I feel this is one of the better metas we've had in the last year or so.
Gonna make the call best meta ever.
Yeah.
Just gonna drop it there.
No, I read final one. The final one before we go is gonna put you guys on the spot. What is winning Pro Tour Singapore? Starting with Jason.
No, man. Oh, it's gonna be something stupid.
It's like we talked all this, like, Slippy, Syndra, Gravey's there. It's gonna be Kano. We're just gonna put it for Kano.
It's always Jarl. It's
always
always a Guardian. I hate Jarl, but like, I really don't like Jarl, but I think Jarl is gonna win.
You're going with Yao?
reckon
That's
it's-
awesome.
I
I respect that, Kano.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
the-
everyone's gonna leave their AB at home.
What the hell?
And I feel like I feel like the safe choice is like Slippy or Gravey since they've been
Yeah, someone, you have to do
crushing.
it for us. Like, just do it safe.
for our reputation.
Yeah.
Nah, Bolt. Nah, I'm going for my girl Casai.
Kasai!
For Kasai! Because I feel if Pablo played it at Nationals, he
gonna be good.
must be playing it at the Pro Tour. Pablo, if you're listening, don't let me down.
He's actually on Rhino. Okay.
No!
I like to think, even though this was never validated, I feel like when we were really hyping up Ryan at that time, when he just like almost certainly wasn't the pick in hindsight. We're like, yeah, man, Ryder. And we're all sitting here going, Ryder. And then he played at the Pro Tour and actually did like pretty well.
He was,
Yeah.
he did pretty good.
But,
Top 16, I believe.
yeah, but it was quite funny because then I feel we're joking like, nice, we psyoped Pablo. I don't even listen to us, but like, yeah, we got him.
Oh, we should have said Fang this time. No. Yeah, Fang really good into Auroras especially.
Well,
Yeah.
Fang, one of the heroes that's actually pretty decent, I think, into Gravey. One of the heroes that Slippy has a negative win rate into. Without checking the data, I'm just going to claim it's dominant into Syndra.
Yeah, because you have all the time in the world to get to 350.
I think Verdance is an unlosable matchup for you.
If you tweak the list, you can.
You just have to solve the puzzle.
All right.
All right, anyway, wrap it up. We'll get out of here. Alex is getting sick of us. But
So we
anyway,
got what? Kano, Jarl, and Kasai. Devs know exactly what they're talking about.
yeah, Kato, just kidding.
I could have said Fang, man. I could have said
You could have said Fang.
But anyway,
It's, do you want to switch?
No.
Last?
No. Lock and Jarl.
Luck in
anyway, that's it from us. Make sure to tune into the Pro Tour Singapore. It's going to be absolutely epic. Get your tickets to World Tour Auckland to come hang out with us at the Callings. And yeah, Super Slam, hyped. Can't wait. Catch you all next time.
See you.
Bye.